And once again, want to take another look at the Altec Lansing 2200 amplifier. As on the first video, did forget to mention the parallel bridge mode. I will be going over that. Also, kind of clarify the input jacks a little better. These are your four balanced XLR inputs. Your non-balanced inputs, these are a through, so you can input here and get your output through here. These are basically paralleled pair of jacks. These are unbalanced. We're not using a ring tip sleeve, just a mono jack here. This is this balanced, unbalanced with a through on each individual channels. So this is not 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. This is actually a through for one. This is 1 in and out, 2 in and out, 3 in and out, and so forth. Your extra 8 inputs are here on these what is labeled J213, 14, 15, and J216. These are what the manual is called the special jacks. These are a ring tip sleeve jack, but you will want to use the sleeve as your negative and your tip as your positive input. There is a tip which is a loop through, looks to be from these 4 channels, which it is all unbalanced audio on those. Again, these 4 here are the only ones using a ring tip sleeve jack, but the tip is an actual feed from these 4 channels here coming back from the drive card. Not much, don't have much documentation on the output that is linked from here to here. It looks like just an audio loop coming from the drive card back out to the tip section of this ring tip sleeve jack that's only on these 4. Again, these here are just strictly mono input and through, unbalanced, balanced XLR if you have the transformer option, 600 ohm transformers on your input card. And we'll be going over the bridged parallel mode. Taking a look here at the one example here, we'll just set up, just for an example, we'll be using 4 amplifier cards. We will be running into a 16 ohm load. Our peak-to-peak sine wave voltage is going to be a 70 volt level, and our rated output power is going to be 300 watts. We're going to be running our signal into the positive portion will be running into 2 of our amplifiers going through our 16 ohm load, and our negative here will be negative portion will be running through 2 more amplifiers as well in the set. So we'll be doing a parallel bridge mode operation, as they're calling this in this amplifier. And we will be configuring our cards and our loads. Again, we'll need, for this step, we will need 4 amplifier cards in our chassis. And we'll still choose, as previous, using our input, our single input here. Channel 1, we'll be routing our audio through our balance connector. And we'll go ahead here and slide out our drive card. Taking a look at our drive card here, we will want to make sure our audio is in fact will be routed through switch number 1 here. This will be taking our audio from channel 1, routing it through our attenuator, having jumper 1 turned on only, through the attenuator into the drive circuitry. And here we'll go ahead and unset our previous that we had here, and let's go ahead and select, we want channels 1 and 2 right here. Alright, this is our first positive channels that we have here configured here on our first card here, 1 and 2, and we have turned on 1 and 2. Okay, up here in our second here, we're going to go into our bridged mode. So we will pull this switch down into bridged mode. This attenuator is not going to be in the circuit. All of these will remain off. Our input to this second drive is routed through this bridge. And once we're routed through the bridge, this becomes our output here. This runs our output into here from this pre through the bridge switch into this pre. Now we need to assign on our second channel, we need to go ahead here and assign our switches channels 3 and 4 on this card will be turned on. So we will make sure 3 and 4 are turned on. All other switches are in the off position. 1 and 2 coming from our handling our positive portions of our waveform outputted to cards 1 and 2. Routing through the bridge, tying our pre's output of this pre to this pre, so we're getting our negative portion of our signal. We're going to make sure that we are in our bridged condition. And note, this is our audio source through pre to pre, not our dip switch setting here. The only dip switch setting for audio source again is right here, source number 1 through this attenuator. This attenuator is of non-use in this application. These switches are all in the off position, unused switches. So switches 1 and 2 for cards 1 and 2, and switches 3 and 4 to pick up our negative portion of our signal on these two amplifiers. And we will simply insert our card. Okay, now that we have our card inserted, we will go around to the back and configure our loads. And again, this was a 16 ohm configuration, so we will be using two 8 ohm speakers to generate our 16 ohm load for this test. And once again, these will be in our 70 volt range, capable of a peak-to-peak 70 volt signal. So we will wire these up. I will put the camera down here. I will be back with you. Okay, now that we have our system wired up, we're going to put a 16 ohm load series, our two 8 ohm speakers, and let's take a closer look at our wiring connection here. We have channel 1, our channels 1 and 2 are paralleled together. Channel 1 positive ties to channel 2 positive. Then our third lead goes out to our speaker. This is our positive portion of our signal. Now, amplifiers 3 and 4 is going to be our negative portion. So we have to parallel amplifiers 3 and 4 positive leads must tie together. And off of that, we'll be supplying our negative waveform to our speaker. Notice our common rail is not used. Nothing is tied together. So basically we are running a paralleling the two positive amplifiers, channels 1 and 2, and we're paralleling the two negative portions of our signal, which is coming from amplifier cards 3 and 4. Note that if you did actually parallel the negative to the positive accidentally, in this parallel, you would actually blow some fuses or possibly damage a card. So be very careful here. You're messing with the high positive section of this amplifier. So be very careful that your dip switch settings are correct as of running a parallel to the wrong cards, or a drive to the wrong cards will result in a possible card damage or blowing of fuses. So again, channels 1 and 2 are providing our positive waveform. So we're paralleling these two together, and our negative waveform portion is being produced out of cards 3 and 4, and they get paralleled together. And once again, we'll be using our channel 1 and our balanced XLR. So we will be connecting our XLR. Again, carefully checking our configuration to make sure nothing's touching. And we are in the 70 volt peak-to-peak connection. Be powering up the amplifier. Let's see. First of all, make sure our gain is turned down so we won't have any surprises. And turning on power. Waiting for a relay click. There's a relay click. And we will turn up our gain. And we are at a 16 ohm load in parallel bridge mode.
Sports Connection, WABN. Hello, baby. Yeah, this is the Big Papa speaking.
This turn down our gain and power down. This configuration is used mainly for a lot of 70 volt applications where it's needed for a 70 volt output. Rated load on this configuration, like again was saying, was 16 ohms at a 300 watt output. That pretty much sums up the bridging, parallel bridging operation, which is outlined in the manual. If you do a single amplifier bridge mode, you can operate this under a 32 ohm load at 150 watts, and you'll have to put a 32 ohm load and configure up like we did, except you're just using two of the amplifier. One is swinging positive, throw in bridge mode. The other amplifier is swinging your negative portion of your signal. And you will use amplifier high 1, amplifier high 2 as your signal outputs. Hope this helps. like I say, this is the little part I left out of the first video. Thought I would just touch up on that, clarify that. Any other questions, drop me a line there and I will try to clarify anything that I can. Thanks.